And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for the return of tonight's episode of The Flash, Season 9, Episode 9. Now, this is a very big episode. This was directed by our very own Daniela Panabaker, and this was also the return of certain characters throughout the Arrowverse, from Kid Flash, Wally West, and of course our very own Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, aka Stephen Amell, makes a return as Oliver Queen, aka Spectre, in this episode. So, if you're not seeing this episode, you have some spoilers ahead, because this episode was actually kind of fun. It wasn't the greatest crossover episode, but it was a lot of fun, and it actually gave us some answers that I'm pretty sure a lot of people were asking throughout the rest of the show. Ever since Crisis on Infinite Earth happened, there were a lot of questions about, is Oliver dead? Is Oliver this? Is he really this? Where is he? Is he still around? Can he ever come back? Questions like that are, kind of answered in this episode. And so, like I said before, spoilers ahead. So, this episode, like I said before, directed by Daniela Panabaker. And I thought she did a really good job with this episode. She kind of did some loopholes in here that I'm like, okay, that makes some cool sense, I guess. But it's like, dang, it's too bad this is the last season, because those loopholes will come in handy in future episodes. But okay, so let's talk about it. So it's Barry's birthday. Barry's finally turned 30, because he lost a couple of years apparently, so he was still 29 for a couple of years. So they throw him a birthday party. He's trying to have fun. You got Diggle coming back. You got Kid Flash there. You have the original Captain Singh. He's back as well. You got all that. Them doing that. And then, of course, Bloodwork returns, aka Ramsey, I believe that was his name. Same actor too. He comes back, and apparently he's got a new scheme. He wants to use Wally as like a stepping stone and a Speed Force power to boost his power, so he can go through the new quote-unquote multiverse. Because apparently the multiverse is officially back. Now, we all thought, okay, the multiverse kind of got reset after, Oliver sacrificed himself to put everything back together. That's why everybody basically came back, except for his father. His mother came back. Everybody came back from Arrow, who was technically still alive in the Arrow shows, except for Oliver, obviously. And Bloodwork, he wants to go into the multiverse and use Wally's speed to make sure he gets there, so he can basically infect everybody over there. He infects the team, obviously, except for Barry. Barry's got to fight Wally, I guess Inner Darkness, kind of like exactly when Barry had to deal with that first time around. So I thought that stuff really was cool. We see the return of Oliver Queen. He shows up. He's the Spectre. We found out that when Oliver resetted everything, he also created a brand new multiverse. Basically, new Earths, new this, new that. Everything's brand spanking new. And he shows up to help out Barry to take out Bloodwork once and for all. And apparently, he gets a free pass day when it comes to anytime the multiverse is in trouble. The Spectre is allowed to have one day to return back to Earth. Kind of like if you guys ever watched Dragon Ball Z. If you ever watched that show, for those who are fans of Dragon Ball Z, you know what I'm going with this. Kind of like when Goku was dead and he has the halo and he's allowed to come back for one day. Kind of like that, especially when there's trouble. Kind of like that. But except when there's trouble with the multiverse, Oliver is allowed to come back for that day to basically help out if he can. So, like I said before, kind of Daniela gave us a kind of a loophole. If only too bad this loophole wasn't like this was season 8. Maybe we go one more. Maybe next season we'll get him to come back in a bigger crossover or something. But alas, this is the last season, so the dang loophole won't work anymore. But it was fun to see Oliver again. I mean, hearing the iconic music, seeing the island again, hearing the fact that him and Felicity are doing well. We don't see Felicity. I do wish we kind of got to see Felicity again, because I mean, they're like the best, Arrowverse couple. So there's that. So but yeah, but man, it was really good seeing Oliver again. I really miss that. I miss Arrow so much. That's such a great show. And just seeing Oliver come back for this episode, and I honestly was a little worried that Daniela was just gonna bring him back for like maybe 2 scenes, and then he was gonna tell Barry what to do and then just leave. No, he actually came back, and they had a quick little fight with the bad guy, and that was it. He got to stick around at the end, have the party, so that was cool because they were still celebrating Barry's birthday, so we got to see that. Keon finally got to use her powers. She is connected to, I guess, nature. So she literally just waves her hand and started using ice powers like she's Elsa from Frozen. So that was, no pun intended, cool. So finally, so there's something with that. Yeah, I really think this episode gave us kind of closure of Barry and Oliver's chapter. I think we finally got to see Oliver and Barry finally say goodbye to each other in a way, and Oliver reminded him, hey man, you were chosen by that lightning to get, you were chosen by the lightning to get struck to become who you are. Don't squander it. Don't mess it up. Just be the hero that you can be. And, that was the encouraging words that Oliver told him even in the beginning. He's like, you want to be a hero? Wear a mask. And he, Oliver had that same, lecture from him when Barry told him the same thing. And, it finally came full circle, I guess. So I thought that stuff was really good. I thought Daniela did a good job of kind of giving us that closure that Barry and Oliver needed. Because the last time Barry saw him, he was dying, So, he said his goodbyes, but he never really got that, like, I'm okay that you're gone. Technically, even though he's not. But, and Oliver's around. If, Barry screws up again, he's going to come back and kick his butt because, he's the Spectre. Now, obviously, Oliver didn't get to use all the Spectre powers because apparently the multiverse was, weaken him a little bit. So, kind of a little bit another loophole where, yeah, I don't think I want to give him that much power because he can snap his fingers and fix this problem in 2 seconds. So, kind of like that situation. So, I thought that was like, oh, come on, really? But it was great seeing him. It was great seeing Diggle again, They went back to the whole, oh yeah, you almost became the Green Lantern, but you got rid of it. You don't need it. So, finally, they closed that chapter because, honestly, I thought that was still a waste of a time throughout Flash and Arrow. But anyway, the villain was, the villain, so whatever. But it was good seeing Kid Flash again. We got to see moments of him just dealing with the fact that he felt like, hey, I'm like the third wheel here. Joe's got his daughter, he's got Iris, and then he's got his so-called son, which is Barry. He's been taking care of Barry since he was a kid, and then Wally shows up as like that third wheel kind of person, even though he's the middle child. So he felt kind of neglected. So that's why the darkness was kind of using him a little bit. So I thought that stuff was pretty interesting. So yeah, overall a good episode. I'm glad it came back, kind of swinging for the fences, and it did a really good job with this episode. Like, it's not you can't call this a crossover because it wasn't really much of a crossover, but as an episode throughout the rest of the season of the show, it's the best episode so far, honestly, in my opinion. Only because we finally got some closure for certain characters. We got to see Oliver one more time to say goodbye. Finally, we kind of know exactly what Keon's purpose is now. She has powers. We get it. Even Oliver knew about that. So hopefully we'll get more stuff for her, for that. But we'll see what happens. I'm surprised Iris didn't have that much to do in this episode. She was there, but she had nothing much to do. So she was mind control too. So I thought we would have got some stuff with that, but I guess not. But this episode was mostly about Oliver and Barry finally saying goodbye to each other the proper way. Even Diggle too. You know, Diggle wasn't there when Oliver sacrificed himself when he took out the Anti-Monitor and stuff. So, you know, we got to see that. So, and of course, Oliver continues to prove that he's just a cheapskate. At the end of the episode, he didn't want to pay the bar tab, even though technically he's dead, but not really dead. But we all know he's not. We all knew he wasn't really dead. Him and Felicity are not really dead. They just live in limbo land because he's a Spectre. But, you know, he's got his rules. But man, if they were going to give us a season 10, the loophole could bring him back. You know? So, hey, listen, great job for Daniela Panabaker. I think this was her 5th episode she directed, or 4th, I'm not really sure. Congratulations for her. She did a good job with this episode. I'm happy with the episode. Hopefully now the rest of the season goes up, because the season so far was like this, but now it's starting to go like this, but it's still down here. But we need to end in a high note, so hopefully this is a good push for it. But only time will tell. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys like the fact that Oliver came back, even if it's, you know, for a small episode? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more, and thank you very much, and have a good night.